Bro, modern day feminism is like so toxic. It's all double standards. Like, if a woman were to come out and say a hypothetical statement that no one ever says, it's perfectly acceptable. But if a man comes out and says a hypothetical statement that literally zero people say, then all hell breaks loose. Dog, shut up.
One of my biggest criticisms of the red pill community always has and continues to be that, it's not like these guys are just, cracking regular jokes about the dating market, which is perfectly acceptable for anybody to do because, if you have any experience with dating, there's a lot of ups and downs to it. And, sharing your war stories can be pretty funny. But that's not what these guys do.
Where were you for the past human history when men have had the floor, have had the stage, have had the power? Do you not know about colonization? Like, pick up a history book that was built on the backs of oppressing women and other groups. 50 years ago, women couldn't have credit cards in this country. To this day, 80% of politicians are men. We are the power structure. When women joke about men, they're punching up at the power structure. That's the difference.
When you look at the content that they post, like every single video is modern woman gets humbled, modern woman this, modern woman that. And let's say, for instance, that we didn't live in a society to where women, up until relatively recently didn't, weren't basically property. You know what I'm saying? Weren't basically just handed off as wives or, weren't allowed to have credit cards and, stuff like that. Let's say we didn't live in a society like that. Even still, these guys aren't really talking about anything. Because when you really boil it down, these guys typically are really young, maybe early to mid-teens, maybe a little older than that, and really trying to figure out how to get about dating, and then they get sucked into these echo chambers. Or they're like older guys who got sucked into the divorce courts, which, there's legitimate issues there. But again, it's not like they're really trying to solve the issues. It's just a big hugging circle for men to support one another for how women really don't like them very much.
How many times, men, when you go outside and you're going on a walk at night, are you afraid that you got to look out, you got to be environmentally aware that you don't get taken? You don't. That's the difference.
Let's take, for instance, all these, red pill machismo guys when they're on these podcasts and they say, I don't really care that much about a woman's orgasm. It doesn't really matter, because I'm so much of a man. You have to show her that you're stoic and you're not concerned about her whatsoever. Like, okay, well, that's probably why most of the women that you date go and often bang other guys, which is what you typically talk about, right? And that's not the only problem here, because you got to know how to please a woman in the bedroom. That's not the only issue, but you have to actually just like women in general, which these guys don't. Because again, like, they're not talking about anything. What slights have really been done to you by women? She didn't want to go on a date with you. She wouldn't sleep with you. Maybe she cheated on you. I've been cheated on before. I've been rejected. But I also reject other women, which is what these guys seem to forget. And a lot of people seem to forget. You also reject people. So it's only right that people reject you sometimes. But, it's all about you. It's all about the ego, which is the biggest issue with this community.
And that's how I know you don't talk to women. Because if you did, most, if not all of them, live in fear 24/7 because of people like you that could potentially hurt them. Oh, but if a man said, Doc, just tell us you get zero play. Just tell us you don't know what the touch of a woman feels like. It's not that hard.
Another way you know that these guys really just don't have good relationships with women or ongoing relationships with women at all is because they act like women are out to get you. And it's like, probably not, man. Women are probably more, especially if you're just meeting them, they're probably more concerned about the things going on in their own lives, just like you are, just like everybody else is. Because women work, women have families, women have pets, women have kids. Women have lives outside of you, which is what a lot of these guys really seem to have a problem with. Because, for instance, like when shows like She-Hulk or The Woman King or something, right? It's like they'll go on and on and on about that, about how society's trying to crumble the image of men. But it's like, are they really? And are you just complaining that you fall into that category of losers that you're talking about? Because I don't feel your pain, my brother. Anytime I fallen short of anything, I do the work, I take the time, I deal with the pain, and I grow from it, But that's not what these guys want to do. And so, ironically or unironically, they just join the all boys, we hate women club.